Hello and welcome to the Alexandra Wenman show. I am here today with a very special guest. She is a world bridger. Her name is Zoe Owl, and she has a wealth of knowledge. She's a clinical psychotherapist, and she's got a wealth of spiritual knowledge. Zoe, I'm going to let you talk about it. Thank you so much for joining me on the show.
You're welcome. It's lovely to be with you this morning, Alex. Thank you for having me.
It's such a joy. And could you just fill us in a little bit about, first of all, I think we need to dive into your qualifications and credentials, because it blows me away to read the list of things that you have done. Can we start there and then go back to some stories?
Sure. So I clinically, I'm a psychologist. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I was drawn to psychology to just understand human behavior and why people do the things they do, and love psychology. It was a big opener, a door opener for me. But at the same time, I was also always exploring my spirituality. So I was into Buddhism when I was studying as an undergrad. And that kind of run alongside, the more academic path, which I did take, went postgraduate to master's level, and was very fascinated with all of the institutions, the educational system, the penal system, the legal system, the psychiatric medical health system, and work took me into all of these institutions in a very dynamic research role. So I was able to access a lot of, different aspects. And I also did some voluntary work when I was an undergrad and a postgrad as a Board of Visitors prison inspectorate. So I was inspecting the prisons and for any misdemeanors and how people were treated. And so that gave me,
about that to me, that really interests me, because I mean, before we came on air, Zoe and I were talking a little bit about people's capacity to change and to rehabilitate. What was the main impression that you got of that system when you were working in it?
That people, we all have the ability to change. We're changing every second, every nanosecond of the day, both in the physical sense and the metaphysical sense. And it was just to understand, I think the main impression was just, for me, it was to understand how it all works, how everything is organized here on planet Earth. And the being on the journey of empowerment, because it works in symbiosis. So you're on your own journey of empowerment, but you're also interested in the other person's empowerment. And I was in different prisons, in my own mind, and I was freeing myself from those. But the people that I was doing the inspecting work for in the prisons were in a literal physical prison. And it was very interesting, those two parallel aspects. So, yeah, very, very clinical. But my spirituality has always been, the driving force alongside of that, of course. And then I decided to specialize in hypnotherapy and to be using the subconscious mind, because I'd meditated for a long time.
I was going to say, when did all the spiritual side start for you? I'm guessing when you were young.
Yes, I mean, I'm of the belief, that we come in with it. It's what we come in with. So, before I even landed on Earth, it came with me, it's like our blueprint and our galactic blueprint of what we bring, what we're here to do in this particular, lifetime. So I've professionally studied past life therapy, but I'd kind of got more of a grasp of that from being a Buddhist and meditating. I'd gone to a lot of retreats with Buddhist monks. I'd spent some time in Thailand with them, and just opened up, my mind and different worlds, and then had to sort of marry the spiritual travel in with the professional clinical training to keep everything, to keep my clients safe and professional. But it's a very interesting, you have to have both, and I think that's the world bridging aspect, is to have your feminine intuition that's guiding you, that's connecting with all your sorry, it's a fire go past there. And this is it, we're multidimensional, everything is all happening, it's all here at the same time. And so to have that feminine intuition, but also you need the structure, you need the masculine, logical, linear, to keep it safe and to keep it grounded. And so it's lovely working with those two energies, which is what I understand makes us whole.
I love it. And you're so on the same page as me. I'm being nudged to ask you a question about the psychology of angels. Now, I'm guessing the angels want me to ask your perspective on this, because I work with angels obviously very closely, and I see them all the time and I experience them. But when I experience them, it's like they're within us and external to us at the same time. So there's like this paradox. How do you explain from, I guess, a psychological point of view what angels are? And can you? They're asking me to ask you, so I'm going to throw it over to you.
Very interesting. Well, I'm in wholehearted agreement with you that I think we are earth angels incarnated here to, be of service and to help people, to help animals and the living planet. But there's also, so we are it, that's our being, it's who we are, our essence, our core. But it's also, from a psychological perspective, it's we mirror, we project. So what we see around us is a direct reflection of our own mirror. So when we see an angel or something angelic, a kindness, a deep, compassionate act of kindness, we have that and we do that. And that's why we're able to see it in another form. And so I think it's to do with, as Carl Jung would say, I'm a very big on Jungian psychology. He was very, very spiritual. He was a world bridger, as most people hopefully know as well. And it's that, it's about the mirror, and it's about the projection, and it ultimately it's about oneness. It's about unity, because it's the whole oneness, but we're seeing ourselves in different fragmented parts, and we need to experience this as a human experience on a human level of seeing ourselves in the other. And it's very interesting. If I can share an experience with my young son, I have a son who's 12, and when he was about 6 years ago, or possibly younger, he said to me, "Mum, I want to see an angel. I want to actually see an angel," because he was, in childhood innocence, but I suppose he'd gone into the logical brain and he was wanting to see it. And I said, okay, well, what we do is, if we want something, we ask. I said, so we said a prayer and we said it together and we asked for him to see the angel. And I, in my prayer, I said, please let it be with me when he's with me, so I can support him and guide him through that, knowing, full surrendering that it would be divine and beautiful and there was nothing to fear, but just so that I could share that experience with him on the journey. So this is how it works. So I was in the shower singing, as I always do. I'm dancing and singing. Showers are, it all goes on in the shower, doesn't it?
I'm the same, shower and bath, yeah.
Water. Yeah. And we were playing angelic music, really beautiful angelic music. A good friend of mine, he opened Diana Cooper's World Angel Day at Wembley. And so this beautiful angel music, but we were rapping. So me and my son were making up like little raps and rhymes, poetry basically, overlaid over this angelic music. And the angels love this. The orbs are very attracted to when there's music and joy and everything, all these sensual things. And he was playing and he was running in and running out the bathroom, and freedom. There was so much freedom. And this was a couple of days after we'd asked. And then this pink light came in, and it swathed in. And
that's why I had to wear the pink.
Yes, it was maybe, yeah. It was this gorgeous.
Oh, I'm seeing it. Oh my God.
And it just kept like a mist of pink. And it came in, and I saw it with my physical eyes, and I just acknowledged it and didn't do anything, was so at peace and at ease, and just carried on singing and dancing, and it was all in flow. And my son ran in, and he looks a bit, he was looking really sort of like studying. And I said, "What can you see, darling? What can you see?" And I asked him before I projected what I was seeing. And he said, "I saw a pink light. I saw this pink light." And I said, "Yes, I saw it too." And I said, "Oh, wow, that's really cool." And then he ran out, and in the running in and the running out, it kept coming back, and it was like dancing with us. And
see it now, it's coming in on the screen. I don't know if other people can see it. And just before we started the interview as well, didn't I say, "Oh, all these pink lights coming in," and I had to use my pink mug and wear my pink dress. Yes. See, you can't make this stuff up.
You can't. And the beautiful thing, you'll love this bit, Alex, is that he said, I said, "Oh, why don't you go?" Because he's got his own child angel cards, little children's one. And I said, "Why don't you go and go to your cards and ask who, which angel, because that's you asked to see an angel, that's your angel." And he ran, and it was Samuel, and he drew that card. And then I said, "When I get out of my shower, I will consult my adult angel decks," and drew the same card. And I said, "There you go. This serves, the cards are confirmation of what you've just physically seen." And he was so pleased. Now, how I'd asked, it was in my home, in the shower. We were doing what we normally do anyway. It was in the most safest way that they made a contact with him.
That's so beautiful. And it is such a co-creation, isn't it? That's the beauty of it. Like he would have seen and experienced how his intention, him asking for that, co-created to allow that to happen. And then you asking for it to be shared with you.
Yes.
They do. They hear us. It's so stunning. It's so beautiful. And so that's Samuel. I mean, that's done in pure love. I mean, you couldn't make it up.
And I called on Samuel today because I was trying to find this sheet. I couldn't find it.
Finding things. Yeah.
Way so folded it beautifully because it's sacred, and and put it in a safe place. And I couldn't then remember where the safe place was. And I was, it's very practical. Samuel, like I feel you today. I've got a number of these different sheets, but I wanted this one. And Samuel said, "Go and have a shower. When you come and relax, just go and relax. And when you come out of the shower, you will go directly to it." And I did.
And you did.
So it works, people. It works.
Oh my God, I love you. It's so interesting. Like even for people watching, you need to know this, right? Zoe and I have not met in person. And I can't even remember when we first connected on Instagram, but somewhere along the way we've connected on Instagram through mutual people, I suppose. And then for the last sort of few weeks, I just kept getting this, "Have Zoe on your show, have Zoe on your show." And I think we've liked each other's posts, and like we're both poets and stuff. So what a delight. Like, I just feel like I've known you for centuries and centuries. It's incredible.
Yes. And I think definitely we've been here many, many times before, Alex, in what I call different earth suits, different body suits, and we would have been all things, because the souls that are here really on mission, who are on fire, who are on form, who are walking their talk and delivering and living the dream and just being everything that they aren't just doing that by random chance. It's all of the work, not that they've put in this life, but not just this life, all the lives before, and all of those journeys. it's an accumulation of many, and my whole system is alight and awash with like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, me too. I get the goosebumps.
And it's an accumulation of all of those journeys, and you know, all of that work, all of that inner work, all of that alchemical work, and all of that devotion and dedication in all the different shades, all the different aspects of the rainbow that we've put in. And this now is just, you know, in this Aquarian age now, is a real time for all of that. It's like we've woven the blanket. We've mastered all these different gifts and skills in many lifetimes, and then put them into this gorgeous, beautiful, quilted mandala quilt it's all weaves in and out, and that's for us as souls in each other's lives as well. And so it's been a long time. I'm not entirely sure when I, you know, met you last in a last lifetime, but certainly we've never met in this lifetime. But I know you without any doubt.
Yes, we haven't met in person yet, but we will. I want to ask you a little bit about, obviously, from that co-creation and mirroring aspect, what sorts of thing, I mean, obviously we won't talk on a personal level, but in general, working with your clients, what sorts of shifts and changes have you seen in recent years with this rapid acceleration that we're going through?
Yes, I mean, fundamental ones, you know, I call them 180s. So they were going in this direction, and then like, whoa, reorientation, and then they're heading in a whole other direction. And how I understand that is that I work as a soul guide. So I just help guide people, because everything is within. We have everything. We're complete. We're whole. We're pure. We've just, in the systems that we've been in, we've got stuff like, it's like what you've been quad biking, and you've got all this mud from quad biking splashed on your face. And I just have to help them like wash a bit and remove all the mud, you know, and get to the gem, the beauty that's them underneath. So it's a wonderful, I love all of the roles and all of the work I do, but I love working with clients to help unpack all of the things that they're not. It's all the labels, it's all of the journey, it's the human experience that soul has had. And everything that they've undergone has been on purpose. It's been for a reason. And certain ways that they've been behaving and the things that they've done it's served them at some point in their journey. But they come to me when they're at the point where it's no longer serving them, and they need to release, everything that's no longer serving them. And it's wonderful. It's like taking off all the masks, taking off all of the armor, taking off all of the mud and the splashes, and then getting to the naked, pure soul that's underneath. And what I do is I guide people to come back to who they are, to who they truly are, the truth of who they are, and to be soul free, to not live in any matrix-induced false reality, but to be their divine self and to live their divinity and their purpose, and to be free to do that. And it's a beautiful it's a beautiful process to watch and be a part of. It's a great honor. It's a huge honor. And it's like when you're on a plane and you look down and you see all the lights of the runway and the town twinkling underneath, it's like you see the person, you know, come alight in all of their bodies, not just their physical body, their mental, their emotional body, their etheric body, and just to set all of those alight. It's incredible.
I love it. And you've also done a lot of crisis work, haven't you? How are you finding that people are coping with the pandemic and everything that we've been going through?
Yeah, it's extraordinary times, absolutely extraordinary times. I've just created a course, an online program, coaching program for women. It's my contribution is the mental health aspect. So the mental health in relation to alcohol addiction. So it's for a company called totius.com. So totius is the Latin word meaning whole. And so there's four structural different components. So there's a fitness coach, there's a yoga and meditation aspect, there's nutrition, and then my aspect is the mental health in terms of dealing with the addiction. So it's to help women, because we live in a culture that's really promoting alcohol, which is what disempowers people and disconnects people from their spiritual self. And I think that in lockdown, the culture is, the off license remained open as an essential. Seriously, really, essential business. And so this is what's being promoted, as part of a bigger agenda.
When we had a little break in the lockdowns, I noticed like classes, like yoga classes and things, were not allowed to go ahead, and yet they opened the pubs for a while. That took priority over health.
Churches were closed. Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy. So that's just about to launch. The website is up and running. The program is it's on form. So I've been delighted to be a part of that. And obviously I brought a couple of decades of powerful experience and research working with dual diagnosis, so working with people with combined drugs and alcohol and mental health problems. Now that also covered people that are in the penal system, that have there's quite a large proportion that have come from care backgrounds. So they've been in foster placements. I've worked with people that have come from children's homes, and so on. And they, in the statistics, they tend to be the ones that end up homeless. It's the whole journey,
You're getting them early to try and help stop that. That's fantastic work, isn't it? That's just beautiful.
I also was very privileged to work with women in refuge, so women that are experiencing domestic violence and abuse, and that was amazing. That was called the Butterfly Project, which was helping women literally transform. So coming out of crisis and leaving in the middle of the night with their kids with nothing, going to live in a refuge, and really facing themselves and everything, head on. And we won an award for that project from Boris Johnson, who was not Prime Minister then, he was London's mayor. So he presented the award to me, which was fantastic, which was for our innovation and what we managed to achieve, which empowered so many, not only women, but children and generations yet to come.
You're amazing. Where have you found the time to do all of this? Like
we manifest it. Time is an illusion. Time doesn't exist. We're multidimensional beings, and we are master manifestors. So we can manifest all of the time that we need, exactly the right amount of time. And I think
we can bend time too. We can stretch it, shorten it, bend it. Yeah.
We are so powerful, Alex, aren't we? We're so powerful beyond measure. And this is what the systems in place here don't want us to know. They don't want us to know who we really are and what we're really capable of, because we can do that. Exactly. We can manifest exactly what we want and what we need, as long as it's in alignment with the highest good for everybody.
You talk about all of this with so much ease and grace, Zoe, and to people watching, and it's just past 11:11. Well, I say this, what I find phenomenal about you is how grounded you are, and how you have all the qualifications. You're boots on the ground working within these systems, and yet you are a multi-dimensional alchemist, magician, goddess, priestess. But did you have a tough time trying to bridge these worlds, or did it just happen organically and naturally? Because I know that there are a lot of light workers that are undercover light workers that feel like they've got to compartmentalize their spiritual life from their sort of 3D life. There goes the throat while we talk about it, especially women. So do you want to talk a little bit about how it sort of came to pass for you to meld these components?
Yes, definitely. I think for me, it's been very fluid, and it has been it's been something that's part of my mission. What I'm here to do is to way show, to walk my talk, and to show by example, you know, how I'm approaching things, how it can be done, to help inspire people to have courage and to take brave steps. You have to have bravery, you have to have courage, and to have that you have to go within. You've got to meditate, you've got to go inside. You're not going to get bravery in the external world. It's an internal job. So going within is absolutely crucial. And I think you've hit a really important point, because there are so many really powerful light workers out there who I can understand why they need to compartmentalize, and they've got to do that to keep safe, to keep their reputation safe, to survive, to keep their income coming in and keep the roof over their head and feed their children. But there comes a point where you've got to blend. It's all about blending. You've got to blend the two together and mold the two together. And because we're not box thinkers, we're not boxes, we are multidimensional beings, we are multidimensional energy fields. And so there is full permission and there is full space and place for all of us to do that fluidly in whatever way feels comfortable for us. But I think one of the biggest hurdles and barriers and obstacles to overcome is the fear of judgment. It's the fear of reputation. It's the fear of being seen, you know, as being who you are, which might, you know, some people, the judgment labels, oh, a bit wacky, a bit weird, a bit woo-woo, you know, all of these sort of terms. I embrace them all. Yeah, I'm totally weird, really weird, because weird means spiritual. The original meaning of the word WYRD is spiritual. It's been negated as in a linguistical way.
We're claiming that now, though, aren't we? I mean, I can definitely speak to this. I mean, I won't speak publicly about what exactly is going on, but I'm finding myself in a situation at the moment where I had been in resistance for so long of stepping out in a bigger way with my work. And now I've obviously released the Oracle deck. I'm like being pushed to step out in a bigger way. And it's brought up so much, you know, so much resistance to, oh gosh, is this the ego? Is it not the ego? What's going on? And am I the terror as well of being seen, of being exposed, you know, in those, you know, we have there was a collective genocide against women on this planet. So, and magical people on this planet. So all of that terror, even though I've been working through those layers for years and years and years, and I have spontaneous past life memory about a lot of it, which we know isn't linear either. They're just aspects of ourself that needs healing. It's been an interesting journey. And I know that, you know, for me, sometimes I love hearing that yours has been a fluid journey and a fluid bridging of the worlds. For me, it's been like almost like the universe cracks the whip and the rug comes out from under me, and then I get kicked to the next level. So I've been working on that program of, why do I have to go through these sort of harsh, rug pulling, shocking moments? It's like a lightning bolt comes down and it just like hits me out of the blue, and then I get propelled forward. It's really interesting. So I find that so many different people are being shaken awake by life circumstances, and sometimes that's a gentle rocking. And if you listen the first time, you'll and you obviously listen. Yes, I sit in resistance and go, oh, no, I'm too afraid. Don't put me there. And then I get shoved or kicked.
But what you've hit it on the nail on the proverbial head is that because of persecution, we've been persecuted in many, you know, and all of that's gone now. It's cleared now. But there's still remnants that you know, there's always another layer, isn't it? It's that eternal onion, you know, of peeling it back, or the lotus flower. And, you know, it's impactful, but I think giving yourself permission, and that's why we need to find our tribe. We need to find, you know, each other and people that inspire us, and be in their energy field to feel free to know that this is what we're here to do. We're here to be on purpose, and whatever it is that we want to create or make or put out into the world, the world needs that. And so there is, you know, it's a personal journey, because it is a journey of courage and constantly readdressing your boundaries. Boundaries is a big aspect, is a big part of that, isn't it? And feeling safe, having your boundaries, you know, pushed, and you know, just your line, your comfort zone. I want to say comfort zone. So we have to, you know, because that's growth, that's expansion. If you want to grow, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And you can do that safely. You don't need to jump with no parachute. You know, you can jump with a parachute on, and you can glide down beautifully.
I did. I had an experience of that, actually. You know, you talk about things being metaphors. Years and years ago, I, for some stupid reason, decided that I was going to go parasailing in Turkey. And it was the most incredible, angelic experience, because it was when I was just sort of starting out training in all of this work. And I was with a friend. We were actually really hungover that day. It was 40 degrees, really hot. And I didn't want to sit on the beach for 2 hours, but I have a fear of heights, or I had a fear of heights back then. And he was like, well, I'm going to go parasailing. And I was like, fine, I'm coming. And I did. And it was treacherous. Like, there obviously no safety measures. We were hurtling up this dirt road with huge rocks in the road, and an open backed truck fishtailing around these bends. The truck could have just bounced over the edge of this cliff. They were roaring up this hill. Wow. And I was praying to the angels, and I always ask Ariel. Ariel is like, has been with me ever since I was a child, as one of my predominant sort of guardians. And I was like, Ariel, Ariel, help me. And I looked up, and on the back of the cab was a bumper sticker that said, spread your wings. And it had the pictures of the wings. And I was like,
hi, baby.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. By the time we got, and then the tire came loose on the top of the cab and nearly flew out and hit me. I mean, I could have gone flying out the back of the truck. It was so treacherous, this journey up the mountain. But then we got to the top, and I got out of the truck. My legs went to jelly. I felt like I was going to be sick, but I thought, there's no bloody way I'm getting back in that truck. So I had to jump. I had no choice. The universe made sure I had to go over that cliff in that parachute. And I was strapped to this man, this huge, big Turkish man who couldn't speak any English. And this other guy was there, and he went, when I say run, you run, and you don't look back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm running to my doom. I literally felt like I was running to my death. And it's like an analogy of life, isn't it? You know, the things that we are afraid of, if we sit back and we trust, we may fly rather than fall. And what happened was so funny, because I started running, but the guy behind me was so big and heavy that we got pulled backwards, and the chute started dragging us backwards. This is like, it reminds me of like the story of my birth, like got stuck, couldn't get out, you know, all of this. So it's like, I'm trying to run and I can't get there, like those dreams when you're trying to. And then eventually the guy grabbed me and picked me up and went, run. Like, running slow motion. It was like, you know, when you're in it was like slow motion. But I jumped, and literally the parachute just filled with air, and we didn't even drop at all. We just sailed up. And then the action of it was so that in the harness, it literally forced me to sit back. So I was forced by the air and the current to sit back and just enjoy the ride. And this is such an analogy for life. It was like, if you trust, you will be held, and you will just glide, and everything will be beautiful. And I sat there and looked at the beautiful Uludeniz beach in Turkey, stunning turquoise, and looked at the view, and it was just like, it's all going to be okay. And when I got back to London, to walking to work, stopped into this little crystal shop that had opened in Smithfield Market at the time. Packet of the old Doreen Virtue Archangel cards, and I literally picked it up. The book fell open at Ariel, and it said, spread your wings. Yes. And it's just those amazing.
It's so beautiful. That's such a lovely story, Alex. And thank you for sharing that, because I just was getting so much, you know, and I'm sure the listeners are as well, of exactly that, the analogy of life, you know, of taking that bravery, taking that step, and then the reward when you do. And it's exactly like that. And I have a parallel experience. In your part of the world, I jumped 16,000 feet out of an aeroplane.
No, you didn't do that.
Over the Great Barrier Reef. And it was incredible. I was strapped to a big strapping Aussie guy. And he was going,
to the big
welcome to my world. Well, he said, welcome to my office, as we were coming down. And it was just incredible. And as soon as, the seeing the whole Barrier Reef and seeing, it felt like the whole of Australia, so the whole island. And I remember as soon as landing saying, I want to do that again. It was just so, amazing. And it takes a lot of guts. And I was pretty much the same. I got nervous once I was in the airplane. I was like, and when I was feeling how high, and then they're checking, and they're doing the double, triple safety checks of all these, buckles and things. And you're thinking, did I really opt to do this? Am I really about to lunge out of an open doorway on an airplane? And you just have to take that deep breath. And
World War II visions now. Oh God, yeah, there we go. Past life debt. That.
Yeah. But do these things that what you. I say it's a paradox. What you feel comfortable with, but you have to be uncomfortable to put yourself out there to do something. Whatever it is in life. But it's that trust and doing it with a certain amount of safety that you're going to be okay. But you have to surrender to the unknown. And this is the journey. This is the whole journey of stepping into that abyss, into the unknown, to the void. And that is the place of creation. That is where the magic is. That's where things are made. And so do these with gusto, do it with passion, and your life just magically unfolds just like the lotus, in beautiful ways. So that's so lovely, an experience, and I can totally resonate with that. Yeah.
I know. Now you promised me you were going to tell me the story of your name, so we need to know the story of Zoe Owl and how the name came about.
Well, it's a really a very, very powerful and a very magical story, because Zoe is 3 letters and Owl is 3 letters. So there is I'm Libra star, Aquarian rising. And
Hang on, what date's your birthday?
21st of October. So
you're nearly a month. I'm 26 September, but I'm Libra too. The justice bringers.
Exactly. So we're definitely working here for justice, and empowerment and all those wonderful things. And so the name is like a set of scales. It's a balanced set of scales for me. And I was married, and I'd taken my son's name, and when I was married and I was in a doctor's surgery or something, they would call my name. And I'd be reading the magazine, I didn't even register that it was me, that they were calling me for my appointment. And then they'd say it 10 times or whatever, and really clear. And then, actually, that's me. Because I didn't own the name. I wasn't aligned with that pattern, that life, that pathway. I did a big walkabout. I went traveling all around the world to go and find who I am, to self-discover, and to also heal wounded aspects of my soul that I knew I needed to heal shamanically. Mm-hmm. And so it was a beautiful, empowered experience in a sweat lodge, that because names get given ancestrally, by the ancestors, by the elders, and so I have a very strong Lakota native Indian connection, as well as many other connections, of course. But in Lakota Indian, my name is Shante Hin Han Win. So Shante is the heart, Hin Han is the owl, and Win is the woman. So inner heart-owled woman, which is beautiful, but it's quite
mouthful.
Mouthful to say. So it's shortened to inner owl. That's what they gave me, inner owl. Well, they gave the elders that were holding the ceremony for me. Wow. And so inner owl I was for a long time. And this was, the owl, as you know, is very, some people say, the owl's quite shy, it's quite elusive. And so on that aspect, I did, for a few years, I didn't go around saying my name. I had to personally, I was on a journey with it within myself. And I was wearing, I had an owl handbag, and I had owl earrings and owl clothes, and you know, it was coming out more and more, literally spiritually. I call that spiritually coming out.
Yeah.
And I was in Australia actually at this point, and a couple of beautiful souls said to me, you know, seeing all these owls that I'm visibly wearing, they said, "You can come out now. You can say your name. You know, you're making a statement." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Like, as if I'm, you know, and a beautiful innocence. And I was like, "Yeah." So anyway, cut a long story short, I ended up getting divorced. And when I divorced, I was like, right, so what? I knew that I didn't own that name that I never answered to in the dentist surgery. And I didn't feel comfortable going back to my maiden name because of a long lineage history story there. And I knew that I was in a rebirth, and I knew that I wanted to not go back. I wanted to go forward on a timeline. And I'm a creator. I wanted to create. And I was like, well, I can. And it was like a dawning revelation. I can call myself anything I like.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation with my young son, who was only 3 or 4 at the time. And I said, Mummy's going to change her name. And, you know, I asked him first about on a soul level, because obviously, you know, I didn't want him to feel at all that I was moving away from his name. So I was sensitive to that. And when that was okay, because we've traveled many lifetimes together, many incarnations, and so that was cleared, and I had permission, and I said, so what do I want to be? And he was saying Zoe Flamingo. So, and very interestingly, it was all the bird names. It was really exotic, but the bird tribe, which is of which I am. So owl is my totem. It's my power animal, my ultimate power animal, my totem animal. And so we were laughing and messing about, and going to be all sorts of things. Zoe Unicorn, I think, was one.
I love Zoe Unicorn. Yeah.
And you know, why not? Now, I know that sounds really wacky, and it's just fun.
Not at all. I think I'm going to change my name to Alexandra Wings.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Except people might imagine hot wings. I don't know.
Yeah, aligned, absolutely. Yeah. Do it. It's incredible. So just in messing about like that, and then I said, well, I'm an owl. I'm in an owl. I know I'm Shante Hin Han Win, but I want to incorporate that into my, you know, third dimensional name. How do I do that? And it was simple. It was so simple. And I said, I'm Owl. I'm Zoe Owl. Oh wow, I'm Zoe Owl.
And it just drops in, doesn't it?
It drops in. And when I said it, oh my days. So if I'm in a party, you know, the cocktail party phenomenon, if somebody says my name from across the room, they just go, Zoe Owl. I'm like, yeah, and I'm aligned to it. I'm in that power of the name. So, you know, and it's incredible.
I have to tell you, for weeks before this interview, I've been seeing owls everywhere. And I also know that they are a symbol of justice as well, because they're aligned to Pallas Athena, aren't they?
Yes, who's one of my big guys.
Home girl.
And absolutely. And she has the pigeon as well. Not a lot of people realize that. She also has the pigeon, which is really, really powerful and really beautiful as well. Because they're so wise. Yeah, I mean, you know, they helped, they were the first non-human to win the award, you know, in the war for what they did in being a messenger. That's the same as the owl, you know, bringing the messages back and forth. Incredible pigeons. They're not vermin. They're very deeply.
They are. I've rescued many in my time, and I rescued one when I was at boarding school in Sydney, and my boarding school mistress was like, why are you bringing that dirty vermin here? And I was like, it's injured. I made them call the RSPCA and come and rescue the pigeon.
Bless you. Yes. And so that's it. So, you know, and what I did, my signature is, so the owl, I do a heart around Zoe, so the barn owl has the heart-shaped face, and that incorporates inner owl, because Zoe is in the heart of the owl. So Shante Hin Han Win is also represented in the signature, and so it makes me whole, complete. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love you, Zoe. You're
Oh,
totally walking the talk and inspiring people as well, just to be themselves. I love it. So
yes.
is there anything else you want to say to viewers that we haven't covered today?
I'm just about to launch a really beautiful online program. It's a very short one. It's a mini one. It's going to be accessible and affordable to everyone. It's going to be less than £50. But the wealth that's in that, and it's helping people to overcome the imposter syndrome. So we all suffer from the imposter syndrome because the matrix system that we're in and all the programs that are running, they want to stop us in our tracks at every possible hurdle. And this is magic. This is sacred magic it's an empowerment gift of taking off all of those shackles and really freeing the soul to be who they are. So it's overcoming the imposter syndrome within. And it's all done. It's all been done for ages, but it's the technical launching aspect of it that is in process. Out of my hands, it's in process now. So that's coming out really soon. And I also write a lot of poetry. We're both poets.
Oh, I was going to ask you, could you share one of your poems?
Yeah, and so my books, I have a number of books. This was my first book,
Solutions. I love it.
Soul healing poetry to set your soul free. So a local artist drew this for me. This is the pen sword. So it's like the old patriarchal energy of, territorially fighting for borderland and all of this that has evolved through the centuries, millennia, and come down into a feather pen quill. And so the power now is not in the sword, it's the physical sword, it's in the truth, it's in your pen truth, and telling your story. Yeah. And so I share my story in this book. And it's a meditative book, which is why the soft rainbow hues colours there. And it's to help people follow my journey and get guided from my journey as an example, a template, but also prompting them and asking questions and getting them to open up their
medicine, isn't it? It's a medicine book. Yeah,
definitely. And this, I never intended to share this. This was poetry that I'd wrote for me that I thought,
yeah, we never do we? But
Spirit said, you're going to put all these together in a book and it's going to go out there and help. And I said, you kidding? What? No way, like that's my stuff. And it's like, your stuff is our stuff. It's all
did you self-publish, honey, or who did you?
I did. I've self-published all of the books. Yeah, definitely.
They're fantastic covers.
I designed all of them, but this is the creative locksmith, helping you to unlock your magic within. So the purple is the purple L of the locksmith. And if you look at, this is Mozart in punk neon modern form. He told me he wants to come as a punk. And if you look at the outline of his head, it's the keyhole. So through his music, was his medicine. And so this one is about helping people to literally align with their magic, align with their genius within, because we all have genius. And so I share the journeys of as diverse people as like Mozart, cake bakers, all forms of creative writers, artists, poets, all sorts. It's very quirky, it's very magical, and
good. I like quirky and magical. These are
definitely. And then there's a kids book, the Kids Book of Wisdoms on all kinds of stuff. So this is for young children. A 4-year-old
one draw that.
Drew this, and his mom gave him a piece of paper, and she said a whole list of all the poem titles of the things that we needed to represent, and he chose to do the owl, and he chose to do kaleidoscopic eyes. Moving eyes.
You can't get much better, can you?
So that follows all the curriculum subjects, because I used to be a teacher, but it's also the spiritual teaching, world bridging with the curriculum subject. So again, a very magical book. And then Mama on a Mission, giving yourself permission to shine as a woman, as a mother, and a creative spirit. So this was 7 women authors. We each took a chapter and wrote to our area of expertise. So there's a section on yoga and nutrition and a holistic healing package. And my chapter in here is on the healing art of journaling, and how journaling is your most powerful therapeutic tool. And then this is the most recent one that was produced in the lockdown. We started this just after March last year, and it came out in the summer of 2020 in August. Reluctantly Psychic. So it's 44 true stories of spiritual awakening and psychic awakening, and stepping into your psychic gifts and abilities and not being held back.
There's too many of us now. I mean, we can't all be crazy, right? There's
no, exactly.
And it's all backed up by science now,
yes.
people. So for the skeptics out there.
And you know what, Alex? If we are crazy, I'm freaking enjoying.
I'm so happy to be crazy. You know,
I'm not going back to normal.
Used to get teased and called Wacky Wenman, but I've claimed it now. It's like Wonder Wenman, Wacky Wenman, Weirdo Wenman. I'm happy to be that.
Yes. Wonder Woman. You are Wonder Woman. It's a beautiful, exactly. I think, you know, when people say, oh, you're so, you know, in the business world, there's a lot of this use of woo-woo. They say, oh, you're really woo. I go, yeah, woo.
Yeah, totally woo-woo.
Yeah.
It's cool now to be spiritual. I was doing an interview yesterday with lovely Chris Meredith. And I was like, yeah, being spiritual, you know, we went through the being teased and the being bullied and all of that. But you know what? Now everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. It's like we're the way showers.
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. I couldn't have put it more beautiful than that.
Right, can you choose us a poem?
Yes. Okay, so wow, there's a lot of diversity here. What sort of
I reckon just flip the book open and see which one wants to come through.
Okay. Okay.
I'm putting her on the spot.
I love spontaneity. It's
Me too.
Right, I've opened this one up randomly on surrender.
Oh,
this is from Soulitions, and I think why they've shown me to that page is because this is what we have to do. We have to surrender to the angels, to the higher power, to the universe, to the truth, to what feels good, what feels right. If it feels right, it's surrendering to your intuition, your gut instinct, and trusting that, even no matter what everyone says, you're crazy, you're woo-woo, you're this, you're that, just run with it, go with it, and you will be duly rewarded. And it's the art of surrendering. Yeah. So this is surrender. Never ever think you are alone, well and truly on your own, because there's a whole army of spirit helpers up here. So never fear, dear one in physical form. Your etheric body is not yet the norm in life as you know it yet, but soon it will be, on that you can bet. So don't, for now, fret, mistakenly thinking you have to face everything solo. Rather, go through the porthole of the polo, with mint fresh help awaiting you on the other side, where fear and doubt and uncertainty cannot hide, because light spirit workers are on the same side, as you forever knew to the wonders of surrender as you grew, with so much more coming into view as you awaken to all that you have shaken is simply coming back to you. So surrender, 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 and not just when you are feeling tender, but in every living present moment.
I love that. And I love the not just when you're feeling tender as well. It is, we just, and we are being asked more and more every day to just trust, 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 open, relate, be who we are, be all that we can be. And then there's so many gifts that are surfacing because of that on a collective level, on a personal level. It's like that, feel the fear and do it anyway, isn't it? It's like you feel your knees shake, but what's on the other side is better than what's been before.
Yes, and also hopefully the comfort that comes from that poem, Surrender, is that you're not on your own. You're never, you can feel like you're on your own, but not everything as it seems. At certain legs of your journey, at certain points, you need to feel like it's just you and it's your experience. But once you get through that portal, you realize that everybody has had their own time of that, and we've actually all been doing the same thing, and we're all connected, and we are all one, and we're having our own experience, our own unique individual experience, but we're actually on the same journey, and we have the same mission, which is love, to be love, to return to love, and to surrender to love, and to trust love, to be the love, to spread the love, share the love. It's all the same mission in whatever shape or form. So that's, yeah.
I think you just summed it all up, lady. I think that you have just literally channeled through Shamuel in that moment. That was just absolutely beautiful.
And it's so wonderful that, you brought Shamuel in as well, intuitively. And, and even my son, who's gone back to school today for the first time now since a couple of months, of lockdown, it's his first morning. And I put all the angels around him, going in. And he's been here as well, through me sharing his experiences. And, for anybody that wants to logically, physically see something, to know that it's real, that hopefully serves as a beautiful example.
I need to show you my Shamuel card, actually, because the symbolism of it after we've been talking is just too lovely. Let me just make sure I'm
so excited for my.
She's right on the top.
They're
right on the top.
Oh, look at that!
She's got the
dress. That is it. That's the movement. The lines of the dress is the.
Yeah, the squishy movement, and the way that's the way I saw the light coming in around us when you started.
Oh, it's all in her dress. I want that dress.
It's stunning.
That's beautiful. Really beautiful. That is so powerfully apt. That's just, I've not seen this because my deck's on its way. It's flying to me, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've seen a few that you've shared on Instagram. I love the Libran. Oh, the Libran goddess with the.
Oh, Zoe Owl. Yes, I just see if she's here. I love like the way that she came to life. They all showed themselves to me in visions, how they wanted to be presented, and even like the nationalities of the figures that they wanted to represent. I mean, I've got some minority groups in here as well.
Fantastic, because we're all diverse, and everybody needs to see aspects of themselves.
That's it. I mean, we've even got gender neutral angels in here. Fantastic. And Gabriel I've done is completely gender neutral. Gabriel is probably the main one that you can't really tell whether
the Libran one is very the last one, the Libran one, is very Sufism.
Yes, that's what she's a female Sufi mystic.
Very
like Ratziel is a Kabbalah priest, high Kabbalah priest with the covenant, and we've got Zadkiel the alchemist.
Fantastic.
So yeah, they're all
what an honor to see these for the first time.
I've even got a spaceman in here.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, they just they came to life, and oh look, here you go, Zoe.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Oh, excited. I can feel their energy, I can feel their power, and I know
I'm so honored that you've bought your copy.
Yes,
I can't wait to hear
immediately. As soon as I saw your that you'd created them, I was like, I've got to add that to. I've got so many that they have to come.
They're coming out your ears. You're like me. I've got so many. I got Diana's yesterday. These came in the post yesterday. Diana Cooper's.
Beautiful.
Oh, they're stunning. It's like they're all hanging out together like mates.
Yes, and it's just what a gorgeous, beautiful time and era, and thank you for all what you've created and all what you do, and bringing your light and sharing your light as well. It's
likewise,
our world really needs that, and when I see you on Insta, I'm always like, oh, the light just goes pizzazz.
I love Instagram. I see Instagram as like a creative outlet, really. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, I'm on there all the time, but I tend not to scroll for hours. I mostly am just posting and post and go. Like, I'll put a poem up or a picture or something. Like, I tend to just share what inspires me, or if there's been a beautiful moment or something that I need to comment on. I mean, I'll sort of wake up in the morning and go through the people that I like to follow, but it's mostly just like I like looking at even my own Instagram just to see the memories and the little bits that have inspired me through the day. Yeah.
It is a good visual story of the journey, isn't it?
Very creative outlet for me, I find. Like, and it's lovely to obviously to connect. That's the beauty of social media, to connect with people you might not have otherwise have met. We're all being linked up. There's always, two sides to every coin, and a lot of people are kind of anti-social media at the moment, but I think it's a wonderful tool for linking us all up around the planet.
It definitely is. And have you joined the recent new one, Clubhouse?
I have, but I haven't figured out how it works yet. I'm going to have to sort it out.
There is so much power in this. Oh, it's beautiful. It's because everybody who's authentic, and I have no invested interest, I just love it as a tool. Everybody who is genuine, who is pure and real, best good intentions in their heart for what they're here to be of service, they're here to give. It's our platform, because it's your voice. It's not visual, it's not video or anything. It's you can ask, you can gather in rooms, in groups, and you can chat, and you can ask any panel member. You can connect with people, like I could see you in there and directly ask you a question about your oracle deck, and nobody can hide behind that. Like in a lot of social media, people have a VA that runs their site for them. It's not even them sharing their own energy, and there's a lot of rehearsed and touched up stuff and all of this. There's none of that in Clubhouse.
It's all raw and real.
It's raw, it's real. What you see is what you get. And there's lots of spirituals on there. There's loads of spiritual chat rooms and groups. And I've shared a lot for people wanting to write books and how to do that.
I have to go on and connect with you and just see what.
Definitely.
I have to figure out how it all works.
You and I could run a room together.
That would be amazing. I think we should do it. Maybe we could do a poetry one or something like that.
Perfect. And bring the angels in as well.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps again.
Right, watch this space, people.
Watch this space, everyone. But just so people can find you, can you share your Clubhouse handle, your website, your Insta?
It's all Zoe Owl. Just put in
Zoe Owl.
It's Zoe Owl.
And I'll share all the links below as well, so people can find you. And
that's my alignment name. And it's Twitter, Facebook, Clubhouse, and zoeowl.com. It's all just Zoe Owl.
Amazing. Zoe Owl, I love you. What an amazing conversation. And we're going to have many more, I know, in future. And you're just an inspiration. And thank you for walking your talk and inspiring others to be more of themselves.
Bless you. And as Rumi says on the closing words, I am but a mirror of you.
So much love, honey.
Bless you.
And thank you for watching, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.